Hello, today we're going to cover a few NFT projects and compare and contrast and see what the roadmaps entail and what that might do for which project we might choose. I've been looking at uh, Magic Eden, and I found that they have roughly 223 projects, Solana projects on there right now. Um, Basically, you would just hit this, and then you can just like copy paste this into an Excel spreadsheet and count that it's 223. There's also digital eyes. I think it's .digital.eyes. And you would see similar collections on both. For example, I was looking at Space Bums on Magic Eden. I just found it by looking at um, collections, and then actually no, marketplace priced, recently listed, and you would see these Space Bums, and so you can kind of look at what's recently been listed. I kind of found them that way, and you take a look. They say 10,000. You see they sold 2,000, or they sold 2,000 worth in the last 24 hours. If you go to you search them on Twitter, they say they're sold out. You click this Discord link, and you can see how many people. There's only 1,300 members online out of 5,000 members. They only have 7,000 followers. I don't know how they sold out. So this, I think, is a facade. They're claiming to get somebody to go to space and pay Virgin Galactic $450,000 to send somebody to space, but it would cost 2.5 to mint. Now they're being sold for 1. You see the mint cost on their Discord. I have so many channels. I'll just click them again. To see how long they've been around, when they've launched. You go to announcements, you see they kind of launched recently, talking about minting it for 3 Sol and 2.5 Sol. So they really did a bad job by not being able to sell all of them, because they set the price too high, had too many assets, didn't have enough members. All those variables played a part in why they're being sold for less than mint right now. You know, you can read all about their roadmap here. They basically generated money off this to send somebody to space, but are saying they sold out but didn't. I don't believe. We can see if there's anything sold on here, and you can see how these exchanges have the same assets on the different exchanges. Obviously, this one is not at market value based on what we saw there. So it's going to be something I might watch to see how quickly the floor gets eaten up, because not everybody knows they're sold out, and until there's more ways to see how many assets are actually minted within a collection, that's really the type of tools we need to help identify good quality projects and prevent some of this kind of potential lying here. I did get a Cyber Samurai Parametri's collab NFT just recently, and now we got another NFT coming out with a collaboration with Soultones, where in 2 days for 2 Soul. We'll mint one of 100 collection. Now, how does that kind of fare if we compare that, for example? So if you just simply search for Parametries Twitter, you'll see they have 15,000 followers. They're liked by Magic Eden, that exchange we were just looking at, and a couple other marketplaces. So that's one really strong way to see if somebody's official. At least whether or not they're going to lie is a different story. Now, why does this one stand out to me? Well, if you go to their Discord, well, let's look at their roadmap. For one, they already have something developed. They already have an algorithm. They already have a collection sold out. They already have 2 sold out collections. They're not trying to bite off more than they can chew, where they try to sell 10,000 assets, but just trying to create really high quality collectible items that people actually want, that are attracting the art community. So I think I already talked a little bit about these, how they're going to purchase some land and hold galleries there. Anyway, that's really kind of, the most important part is that they already had something developed. They already have assets. Those assets are already going for a while. We need to make sure that they're being sold out. They're not being sold below market value. And that with the collaborations, that there's a lot of upside potential, or at least network effect from more people wanting these less common assets. Because by doing collaborations with communities with a larger number of assets, those communities will more easily sweep up the floor on these lower count items. I think galleries will help, where collections can be shown aside each other and things like that. So the market's pretty saturated. It's kind of crazy how many projects are being launched, but yet at the same time there's only 223 on Magic Eden. So with how many projects being launched and how few there are actually on what I think is the main one here with Magic Eden, that means there's a lot of scamming going on, quite a lot. And so, but it also means we're very early, because there's so few tools to even look at all this stuff. But now, let's take a quick look at, again, Parametries Discord server, and take a look at some of these items. Here you see, 628 online out of 4,000 members. It's a weird hour of the day. I usually see over 1,000 in there. But you jump in and we can take a look at some of the items that are coming up. These all sold out within 9 minutes. Here's the tone box that are coming out. It's popular items or popular paintings like Mona Lisa and different ones, Starry Night, combined with a Soultone's algorithm, and then from the collaboration, and then the Parametries algorithm on top of it. And Soultone's going for decent price, and the Politico, the first launch of Parametries, is going for a good price of 3.5 Soul or more. Again, those cost 3 to mint, but these next 2 projects only cost 2 to mint. So it'll be interesting to see how the price effect fleshes out between those 2 asset groups. And that's really what jumping into this NFT train really looks like, I think, where you're learning what the pricing models look like based on all those variables I've already mentioned: member count, online count, asset count, mint cost, age of Twitter accounts, of are there real names on the websites, do they actually have stuff developed, are there any major red flags, like them changing requirements on you, like just happened with Soul Stars, where they launched 20 of them, and they're like, oh, we're making a we're trying to launch as best we can, and then basically they pulled the rug and stopped listing them. We got a bunch of mad people, and now the Soul Stars are going for 12 Soul or more from the 1 mint cost. I saw them on my phone for one. I kind of texted it to a few people, hey, we should probably get this, but kind of got scared because I saw them saying, hey, it's not working, so didn't push it because I already got an NFT just the other day. But if I was looking at them, I probably would have got it. I was looking at them a little more closely. Just started kind of peeking at them today. Saw the mint, opened up my phone randomly. Saw the mint started 10 minutes ago. See like 3 of them at floor price of 1. But now they're like, oh, we're going to give it out randomly, just like the Grills gang did. So you see a lot of these kind of change requirements on you, even if they're official projects, legit projects, because like Grills gang even partnered, not really partnered, but collabed with VFriends, Gary Vaynerchuk, really high quality project, with the floor price being around $40,000, where it was 1 Ethereum in April. Similar to like Bored Ape Yacht Club, it was just 1 Ethereum in April, but a lot of those are going for over 100,000 right now, and so basically, I guess with the Grills gang, despite being partnered or collabed with VFriends, they can change requirements on you. Again, there's little regulation. There's essentially zero regulation in how people run these projects. They can essentially utilize human effort for their marketing efforts, steal your money, not have any assets potentially. So it helps with seeing that a company already has assets listed, like on Magic Eden, for example. If we search for, Politico or Politibox, this was the first project. It was launched about a week ago. So when was Politico launched? Launches in 2 hours, so October 3rd, so just 3 days ago, and we're still seeing sales on it. We're seeing 30 Sol in the last 24 hours out of 100, and so that's already basically 30% of the asset count being traded. You can multiply that by the mint cost or whatever, or you can maybe multiply the asset cost times the mint cost. And so if you have 100 assets and it costs 3 to mint, you're looking at 300, and 30 divided by 300, that's 10% kind of capacity, which is really strong, I think, for 3 days. Because basically, if you look at the strongest collections, you would basically go to the marketplace and just kind of see what is being priced the highest. And this doesn't mean they're being sold for the highest, but I kind of found cyberfrogs this way. And you see 4,000 Sol being traded per hour. They also launched just like 2 weeks ago, September 27th. They have 8,800 or 9,000 assets, and their membership isn't that large as well. So to be trading this much volume is quite significant. Let's say you have 8,800 assets, and you multiply that by the mint cost, which was 2. So you got 18K, and so 38 divided by 17.7, 20%. So we're not too far off already. We're on the same track as some of these largest projects when you're looking at kind of daily volume based on kind of total market cap in a way. And these are already triple, 3x. So with the floor price being up there, that's pretty awesome. That's let's just kind of make sure we're not making stuff up. You would check out cyberfrog Twitter. You would just make sure you're looking at the one that has tons of followers, 17K followers. So with 17K followers, looks like you can sell out a 8,800 asset. Again, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. It's hard to say. Looks like they sell on Salon Art. even though I was kind of looking at Magic Eden. So let's kind of see how the prices compare across the exchanges. Similar pricing, nicely. 16K Sol volume traded, so I guess you can add that. Here we see 1979. Here's only 576. So about 25% of the items are listed. If we look at Twitter box, about 30% of the items are listed that are kind of in the hands. So 20-30% means it could indeed be sold out, which means the space bones could also be sold out if they have about only 20% listed there. It would just be crazy that everybody paid 2.5 and now you have at least 100 of them below mint. But if there's less than half of that, if there's less than half a page at one, so tomorrow maybe I'll get one of those space buns, just because maybe my kid will go to space one day. Who knows? Who knows? So, but these are already 5 Sol. Space bums below mint price. Again, 10,000 assets, low activity on Discord. Those are all kind of risky bets. Sure, they're already kind of listed, but you kind of want to go for stuff that's like real art, and again, all those things I listed. And let's just take a look at some of the collections really quick. So we had this one sell out in 1 minute, and then this one sold out in 9 minutes. So this one's coming up in a day, and it will sell out in a minute or a handful of minutes. Sorry, Tone Box, I believe, is next, and that will be quite awesome. We got 1,000 assets in this one, and they just kind of keep on going. So when you're looking at a project, you have to stick with the group that just kind of keeps growing its asset base, its community, its network, its collaborations. And essentially each one of these projects is a collaboration. I imagine essentially if we look into these, we'll probably see that each of these is a collaboration when they announce it. Maybe some of them are not. I believe this one is not. Anyway, what's interesting about the last collaboration, I got a pretty nifty one, and why I think it's nifty is because if you go to, again, Magic Eden, and you search for Cyber Samurai, these are the special edition cards where the floor price is 25 Sol. I got this one that was parametrized with the parametries algorithm, and so maybe mine will be 20 Sol. I minted it for 2 Sol. Wonderful. 10x. That sounds great. Imagine if Sol goes from 160 to 500. You multiply that by 3, that's 60x, or sorry, that's 30x. That would be quite significant off a $300 investment. And so that's what I think we're dealing with here when we're looking at some of these collaborations, especially when these collaborations let parametries do a collab with the special editions. That's quite significant. For example, if you go back to what was recently this Dojo box, we have 40 listed, floor price 3.5 Sol, or 3.95 Sol. So off the first day, decent volume, we can get to twice that within a few days, especially as these other projects keep launching, and people still see dips on these. So see, I got this same one right here. We have it listed for 50 Sol, but what is it going to sell for? Yeah, I'd like to sell it for 50 Sol. I can hold a $300 asset for a year or two or three or 10, and maybe it'll be 100x, who knows? And I think that's what, again, we're dealing with when we're looking at these. But I'm probably going to get a couple assets in each collection I start moving into, and trying to sell one at least at 2x, and buying the dips just to kind of keep it fun rather than only investing and investing. Um, the sales is what helps the market grow, and is what's necessary as well. Um, that's all on the NFT side of things. I do want to do a quick market overview because the market did hit some targets, it looks like. Unfortunately, yeah, look at that 45-minute drop, just beautiful drop. And right into this wedge, and it will probably bounce up and then drop to here to 48. I do think we're on the way to 48. How much movement are we going to see in the alts? I was calling 48 earlier in the Crypto Banter Discord channel. You see SNX dropping 5%, Bond dropping a tad, Lunar dropping fairly a lot. HSI, China Index, interesting. SHIB just rocketing, rocket, 250%. XTZ is dipping pretty significantly. I did have this target here. Looks like it could be bouncing there, so this would be a potential add-in on XTZ. Red, small dip, 10%. No, it's not too small, but it looks like it could be a nice retest. See how this green volume is going to take it right back up. I think REN is probably going to be a really good buy around here. Wow, Bitcoin just really let it drop 1,000 in that hour. Right, this wedge, we dropped it, we rose it. What's hard for me is looking at these Elliott waves right now. We kind of had a 5-wave extension. I was looking at that today. I thought it was happening, then it wasn't, then it was. So I actually drew that. Here, we kind of had this 5 going on here. So here we have the 4, 5. And this 5, I drew this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it. Which means the correction should drop down to this A. Which is exactly what we're seeing here, right around that 48. Yeah. It's quick and easy, hopefully. So I'm going to adjust this A. I really don't want it to go all the way down here. That would not be an nice ABC correction. Because here we had the 5. So we might have like a zigzag here, ABC, another zigzag up, ABC, and if it gets to here, I fear that's the 1 wave down, but I'm really not going to worry about it too much because we do have this target zone here to buy when Ethereum hits 3,200. So that is a big add-in zone. And they got a 200. Almost a 10% drop since the morning. 15%. Let's hope not, but as long as you're not planning to sell at this time, just pay attention to how much the profit goes down to know at which point are good entries. Comp is down. Excess. Ooh, look at that. CTX is up. That's nice. Sol is down, not too much. But we could have like a half moon going on here if the market keeps tanking. But it's only October 6th, which we just broke this for the first time. We should be coming back up. Yeah. So let's just do a quick peek at dominance. We were thinking it was going to keep going up, but it did not. It broke away about 4 hours ago. As soon as I saw it drop down here and retest up here, that's probably when I would have been paying more attention to get out, but I've been working on some NFT stuff, so I just kind of missed out this last couple hour drop, I guess. Don't really have stop losses and stuff like that or alerts, just kind of try to pay attention to the market. But you see all this red zone stuff, that's why that happened. We dropped our 2.2T trillion mark, but you know, we're bouncing, guys. Look at all this green volume here. It's not really going to drop this level on the short term, so this is where you would want to be adding in, honestly. You know, everything's not too much lower than where it was around halfway through today. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance really quick. Let me go full screen because I keep forgetting to do that. And I kind of knew it. This has been a bearish pop. So we've been experiencing some, you know, BTCD pops. Here, let's show that. So interestingly, you see Bitcoin rising, rising, rising. You see Bitcoin dominance rising, rising, rising. And then when you see Bitcoin stagnate while this keeps rising, that's really where you're hitting your top. You know, that's all it's running to Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's not rising in price. And that's a strong signal, especially once we hit some of these channels that, well, I guess channels on, what channel did we hit? You know, we've been bouncing off this 52 line. That's been a call, and great, we hit it. And I chose not to sell at that time. These calls are to help you guys know, you know, if you should get in around 52 or not. But that's the tough part. The challenging thing is even though Bitcoin and Ethereum were really rising on this last run, the alts were really lagging, and that kind of in a way suggests those alts are running to Bitcoin and Ethereum. So plus we hit our huge targets, our 5 extension targets. You know, 48 bounce should be pretty bullish. You know, we probably hit some 2 and 4 hour ceilings as well on that. Yeah, as soon as we kind of were hugging this for 2 hours, 6 hours, and dropped it, that's where, you know, when you hug the line from the top, it's kind of where the pressure is to go down. We do have this fib line somewhere here. Yeah, this fib line right here that it bounced off on the 4 hour, and then it bounced off here. And so It's going to hopefully just do that for a bit. And we're going to get some nice entries down here. Whew. Yeah, another 1,000 drop. Shouldn't be too fun, but to sell right now after 1,000 drop already is also really risky. You have the step-up patterns. We got our 1, 2, 3, 4. See, that should have been a 5, but because it kind of went down, what does that kind of mean for us? This is basically that 4 wave. Here's the 5. And really, this could just be like the A. We can have like a ABC zigzag down, or a flat correction, which is ABC. So this next pop will most likely not go all the way back up and will drop. So sell if you want or don't. We got this 2-hour momentum continuing down. Will it turn around? If we look at the 45, is it done selling off? It's just getting into red territory. We got some of these targets, obviously. Just gonna leave it at that. Good luck all. Later.